Hi, I'm Judy. This is Bandit. I just tried to get him a little out of the frame. He didn't want to do that. He will probably want to do that later. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga, and today's Yin Yoga practice that is all about connection to our loved ones. And that doesn't even mean humans necessarily. It can, of course. It can be connections to the furry friends in your lives. It can be connection to the spiritual world. It can be connection to the natural world. Anything that makes you feel connected. We are giving thanks for that today. As far as props go, you see I'm in bed. You absolutely do not have to be. You can be if you want to. So I'm going to use some pillows. That's about it. You might want some blankets. You might want a bolster. And absolutely you can do this on a mat. Go ahead and begin to come into a comfortable seat. Notice the space around you. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? Begin to notice your breath. How is your breath today? No judgment, just notice it. And I'd like to share this quote with you as you're connecting to that breath. Invitation to close the eyes if it feels safe and comfortable for you to do so. This quote is from Melanie Beattie. Not sure how that's pronounced, but I love her work. We're not meant to understand everything, but we are meant to have a deep connection with ourselves and with others. So maybe think about that as we move through today's practice. Today we are getting into our arms, our shoulders, our hips. A little bit more of a yang-ish Yin Yoga practice. You'll understand as we go through it. And just for now, go ahead and inhale. Bring the hands, palms together in front of your heart. Again, close the eyes if it feels safe and comfortable. And just begin to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Feeling the connection in your hands. Feeling your connection to your body. Feeling a connection to your heart. And feeling a connection to your mind. Begin to really arrive in your space. Allowing yourself this time to transition into your time on the mat or the bed. Allow your shoulders to soften, your forehead to soften, your jaw to release. Last breath here. Release your hands and just notice for a moment how you feel. Are you calmer? Has there been some kind of shift physically, emotionally, thoughts? For our first pose, I'm going to be using a pillow. You could be using a block if you're on a mat. This may get Bandit to move. I'm going to show you from the side at first. Come into an easy seated position. You might want to sit up on a pillow or a block to start with. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind you. And begin to stretch out across the upper back and your shoulders. The area that we carry a lot of tension. And notice how when you stretch this area, you have more space to breathe. Maybe your breathing becomes a little easier. And you can stay just like this for however long you want. You can also begin to bow forward, allowing your arms to raise to wherever is comfortable for you. Maybe rolling the shoulders back a little bit. And just breathing deeply in and out through your nose. Where do you feel the connection in your body? Last couple of breaths here. And keeping the hands clasped, slowly begin to raise your torso. Hands come down by the bed. Unclasp your hands. Sorry, bud. Go ahead and either come down onto your mat or bed. I'm turning around so I can get onto my pillow, maybe. And just let your hands come out to the sides, palms up if that feels comfortable. We're here for just a minute. Take note of any sensations you feel in your body, where those sensations might be. Last couple of breaths here. And slowly rolling over onto one side. You can come to face the short end of your mat if you're on a mat. Otherwise, not the short end, the long end of your mat if you're on a mat. We are going to practice. I'm going to grab a pillow. Actually, I'm going to sit up on a pillow since I don't have a block here. You can sit up on a bolster. You can sit up on a block. Excuse me a minute. Okay. I'm going to sit up so that my hips are a little bit higher than my knees. Going to take my legs out wide. Knees are bent. You can also put either blocks. It's probably too high, or maybe some rolled up pillows under your feet if you find this uncomfortable. I'm going to scooch down a little bit. And then we're going to take our hands and begin to try and bring them back towards our body. And this is Tortoise Pose. It's not a pose that I practice very often, as you may see. But it's a great pose to get into your back body. So it created space across the front of our body, and now we're creating space in the back of our body. Actually turn your palms so that your fingers are pointing back towards your body, and try and relax your shoulders. You may be able to get your head down on your mat or your bed. You may be able to get your hands totally under your legs. Or you may be like me, more upright, and it's all good. And relax those shoulders. Feel the ribs coming apart on the inhale. And back together on the exhale. Where in your body do you feel connected? Maybe over time you find you can reach a little bit more on your legs, and maybe you can't. It could be a lot of reasons. It could be a flexibility reason. It could be an anatomical reason. It may be simply the shape of your bones. It doesn't really matter how the pose looks. It matters how it feels. Where you're feeling it in your body. An option to stay upright like me, or come down further if it feels right in your body. We're connecting to our middle element, and the target areas are torso, across our arms, back and front, across our chest. Can you feel that connection? Last couple of breaths here. And slowly, slowly begin to take those hands from underneath your legs. I'm coming off my pillow. I'm going to set it aside. I will want that after our rebound. Rebounds are the short amount of time we spend in between poses, so that we can feel into our body and get connected with what's going on inside there. So coming to lay on your back, legs slightly apart, and hands slightly away from the body. And the last couple of breaths here. And then slowly roll over to one side and come up. I'm going to grab my pillow, place it vertically on the bed, right about where my hips are. And then I'm simply going to drape my body, upper body, down onto that pillow. You can always take a second pillow if you'd like more height, and take the soles of my feet together. Allow my knees to come out side to side. Recline butterfly. If you're not familiar with that, about now, there will be a link to a tutorial on the many variations of recline butterfly. And so we've released some of that tension, hopefully, in your upper back, your shoulders. And now you can just settle into stillness in recline butterfly. Thinking about your connection to your loved ones and your mind, body, and spirit connection. Allow yourself to open up to the connections in your life. To give gratitude for the loved ones in your life. Notice any physical sensations in your body. And then reach under your thighs. Slowly bring your knees back together and the soles of your feet to the mat. If, like me, you're on a pillow on your bed, you can simply put it aside. Maybe not so simply. Or you can grab it. So if you're practicing in a place, I need to scooch down a little bit more. If you're practicing in a place where you have access to a wall, we are coming into legs up the wall. And if you're going to do that, then you take your hips to the wall. And then you slowly and gently swing your legs up the wall as you're coming down onto your back. You can place a bolster or a block underneath your sacrum if you wish by bending your knees, pushing into your feet, lifting your hips. Or you can do what I'm doing. I'm going to take my hands together in a diamond shape, so thumbs together and index fingers together and the rest of the fingers out. And I'm going to place that under my hips. You could just use a pillow here, or a bolster or a block. And bend my knees, and then simply take my feet up in the air. Legs up the wall is a really calming pose for most people. An individual thing. Tends to help us get out of our sympathetic nervous system, where we're fighting or we're running away, and get into our parasympathetic nervous system, known as our rest and digest system. It's also really, really good for tired legs. So after any physical activity where you've really used those legs up the wall is wonderful. And it's also great when you've been traveling. It's like one of the first things I do when I get to a room after traveling. Just put those legs right up there. Sometimes just against the headboard. And if you choose, you can do a little body scan in our last minute in the pose. Feeling those connections to your feet, your ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, hips, sacrum, your whole spine, and shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrist, hands, neck, head, your jaw, cheekbones, eyes, and forehead. And last couple of breaths here. And if you're against a wall, gently allow your feet to fall down towards the floor. Slowly, being careful with your body. And if you're on the bed, just bend your knees, take the soles of your feet back to your bed. Stretch one leg out and then the other, slightly apart. And the hands come away from your body, palms up or palms down as feels right for you. Closing your eyes if it's safe and comfortable for you to do so. And beginning to move into Savasana. I want to revisit that quote I shared with you in the beginning of this practice. You can also revisit any intentions you may have made. I offer that it's a physical practice, your arms, your shoulders, and your hips, and that we are having gratitude for our loved ones, whatever form that may take, and for our connections. And the quote goes like this: we are not meant to understand everything, but we are meant to have a deep connection to ourselves and to others. It comes from Melanie Beatty. You can go ahead and just settle into silence in your Shavasana until you hear me speak again. Feel free to stay in Savasana for as long as you'd like to. Remember, this time is for you. If you're moving on with your day, begin to notice the space around you, what you're hearing, what you can feel, and what you're touching. Your whole body, on your mat, on the bed. Begin to allow your breath to deepen, bringing that connection between body and breath back online. Take any small movements you need to come back into this physical space, and arriving in your own time and in your own way to an easy seated position. Inhale. Bring the palms of the hands together to touch in front of your heart. Slightly bow your head over your hands. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from pain and suffering. And may you always feel connected. Allow your hands to fall into your lap. And slowly raise your head and your torso, hopefully with a smile on your face. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you feel more like yourself, more like the person that you know is inside there that doesn't always come out quite the way you want. And if you did enjoy this practice, please go ahead and click the like button. If you'd like to practice with me again, go ahead and click the subscribe and the bell. And right about now, there should be a link to another video. I want to explain a little bit why I'm doing all these practices in my bedroom, but I didn't want to do this while you're practicing, so I decided I'd make another short video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have so much gratitude for my connection to you, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.